The next day, I awoke with a terrible fever. I hovered in a sweltering wave of heat, unable to tell dream and reality apart, listening to a seemingly endless stream of cracking noises. The sounds were coming from inside my body. I thought I was falling apart. Mother was horribly worried. I'd never been the most healthy child, but I'd never fallen this ill either. I couldn't get out of bed. My voice was raspy, like an old woman's. I was genuinely afraid I would wither away and die. Mother called in doctor after doctor to see me, but they all said it was the flu. That bodily pain was common with a fever. While there was a doctor in the house, Mother was able to remain relatively calm. But once they were gone, the anxiety came back. She stayed with me day and night, even for going to sleep. Her hands gripped mine. They held me fast. She had her head bowed, as if in prayer. Don't worry, it'll be all right, Michel. God is watching over you. He will protect you. You are His child. You are His angel sent to earth. He will not forsake you. Doctors say it's just the flu. Though her words seemed to be directed at me, there was a vagueness in her voice, as if they were really for herself. For so long she had wanted a daughter. I couldn't understand her fixation, but seeing her there through my cloudy eyes, I wanted to apologize for ever thinking spending time with her was agonizing. How are you feeling? Your mother's here for you. Don't worry. But the only sound that came from my mouth was a faint gasp. I drifted in and out of sleep, Mother's hand wrapped around my own, and I had numerous dreams. In my dreams, I was a man. In my dreams, I was Didier and I was Georg. In my dreams, I fell in love with Amy. And in my dreams, I loved her. You're disgusting. With one word, the dreams twisted into nightmares. My body was torn into fleshy chunks, and I sunk into the darkness. Several days later, my fever was gone, like it had never been there. However, my voice did not recover. And when I attempted to climb from my bed, the murderous pain in my joints came rushing back. Instead of my feet, I landed on my face. My voice was unbelievably deep, and the pain only got worse. Every time I took a breath, it felt like someone hammering a spike into the back of my neck. It felt like my body was falling apart, like my dreams were becoming reality. Michel. When Mother scrambled into my chambers, I remembered the time she'd spent at my bedside, and a wave of relief came over me. I reached my hand out in a show of vulnerability, but she didn't take it. She couldn't take it. Mother? What's wrong with your voice, Michel? I see. You're still not feeling well, are you, Michel? A look of restrained fear on her face. Mother stepped toward me, placing her hand on my forehead. Her palm felt hot against my skin. You don't have a fever, but I hurt all over. My joints. You're still sick, Michel. But don't worry, you'll be fine in no time. Now, back to bed with you. You're a girl. You're a girl, so you shouldn't be sitting on the floor. It's bad for your back. As Mother repeated the phrase, you're a girl, again and again, that nagging sense that something wasn't quite right grew more distinct. Was I really sick? Was this actually my voice now? And if it was, what was I turning into? My voice was certainly not a girl's voice. My voice never went back to normal, though. Some mother ordered me to remain in my room. I hadn't recovered yet. And so long as I was sick, I couldn't be let out. Again, something felt wrong about her calling it a sickness, but I had no evidence to the contrary. I had no way to know I wouldn't get others sick if I exposed them, as she claimed, so I had no choice but to do as she said. In time, Mother too stopped visiting me, and the only people I saw were servants. They did their jobs, but refused to look me in the eye. No one else came to see me, though. Not Amy, DDA, or Georg. 1 month passed, then 2, then 3. Occasionally, the pain in my joints would withdraw, and other times it would worsen. Whenever I would drift off to sleep, I would hear the sound of my own joints creaking. I would dream of a woman standing in the courtyard, her soft, reddish-brown hair fluttering in the wind as she twirled to face me, a smile on her face and her breasts exposed. One day, after around 6 months of servants refusing to make eye contact, I stopped one and made a request. To have a mirror brought to my room. Well, he didn't acknowledge me. The next day I had my mirror. By that point, I was fairly certain I knew what was happening to my body. I had no clothes to wear, because none of the multicolored dresses hanging in my wardrobe fit me anymore. Pulling the heavy red cloth covering the mirror aside, my completely naked body came into view. Something resembling a mix of a chuckle and a sigh of pity spilled from my lips. This is me. 6 months. After only 6 months' time, I could hardly recognize myself. Extending my hand for the mirror, I traced the outline of my bony reflection. My shoulders lacked Mother's curves, and my skin Amy's sheen. I was pale and haggard, but structurally, I looked like my brothers. Obviously, being younger than them and not as active, my muscles lacked any kind of strength, but I wouldn't have batted an eye if I saw myself holding a sword. I was a full head taller than I had been 6 months earlier, and I felt an odd certainty that I wasn't done growing either. Staring at myself in the mirror, I traced my name across the surface. Michel. Don't need the last two. Michel. For the first time in my life, I liked my name. I still didn't think an angel's name suited me one bit, but it was staggering how different it felt now, even if it sounded exactly the same. Those last 2 letters changed the meaning entirely, turning from a girl's name to a boy's name. This now makes sense. Everything was falling into place. My admiration for DDA, the envy I had for my brother's bodies, the feelings I had for Amy, the indecent dreams I'd been having. I was always male. I cackled like a fool for the first time in my life. I laughed so hard the sight of myself my stomach hurt. It was the first glimmer of light I had seen in this locked room for far too long. This was what I was supposed to look like. My life up until 6 months ago, constricted and uncomfortable. My life as a girl was all a lie. No one could possibly look at me and call me an angel. I was always a boy, but I had been told I was a girl, forced to act like one. Of course that wouldn't feel right. They needed to know. I couldn't be the only one who understood. Everyone in this house needed to. Fueled by this one desire, I wrapped a sheet over my shoulders and threw open my door. It seemed ridiculous how long I had followed Mother's instructions and remained cooped up in my room. And now I felt fantastic. If there truly was a God in heaven, then this change manservant carrying a tray of food did a double take as I passed him. The farther I proceeded through the corridors, the more eyes I felt on me. The midday sun shone obnoxiously bright through the windows. But now, with its piercing radiation illuminating my proper self, I felt an odd affection for the light. I could hear the family gathered in the great hall, everyone but me. DDA's voice complained about the simple meals the church provided, but his pride came through in his laughter. Georg's voice playfully bragged about life at the royal court. Father's voice informed everyone his investments had borne fruit, and with the money he had purchased several new estates. Mother's voice was distinctly less bright than the rest of the family's. She gave vague, empty indications she was listening, though mostly stayed out of the conversation. Amy's voice sang her praises for Georg, her beloved husband. Never mind the fact she was sleeping with DDA. It was all a facade, a mere shadow of a family. It's a shame Michel couldn't be here. Then we would have everyone. I was there. I was right there. I hadn't gone anywhere. You had just locked me in my room. I hope she recovers soon. I was never sick at all. The child you called Michel was actually your son. That was all there was to it. Huh? What? Everyone's gazes were concentrated on me. I gave them all a quick glance, and then, with my deepened voice, I said, I am cured. I was cured 6 months ago. Who are you? Surely you haven't forgotten my face, have you? Father? Michel? Michel? This boy is Michel? A wave of chatter spread through the hall. Mother went pale. Father objected. DDA stared. Georg gaped. Amy watched cautiously, fear in her eyes. What a farce. They were the ones who had wrongly decided I was a girl. What's going on? Someone tell me, what is the meaning of this? You were dressing your son up like a girl, Mother? I assumed he was a girl. Otherwise I wouldn't have put my hands all over him like that. You lied to me. I would have never agreed to it had I known. No, you're wrong. Michelle's my daughter. You call that a girl? All these months I was worried because you said he was sick. But that was all a lie. You couldn't pass him off as a girl anymore, so you locked him up in his room. Is that what this is? And you could have just stayed there. What possessed you to show yourself now? Stop that. Don't look at me. Don't give me that look. You said you can tell what's going through my mind, didn't you? What? Then you should know exactly how I feel about you right now. Don't be so damn full of yourself. I have no interest in a whore like you. So why don't you go cry in DDA's arms? What are you talking about? Why DDA? Why not me? What? Hey, anyone want to explain that for me? What had once been a nice family meal was now utter chaos. For the briefest moment, I felt sorry for Georg, but that was slipped away almost immediately. There was a crash from the table and dishes fell, shattering against the floor. Cursed. A chilling darkness oozed from her voice. She's cursed. She was my daughter. I saw her with my own eyes. I gave birth to her. She was a girl. Michelle was a girl. A malevolent curse has been placed on her. When Mother lifted her head, I had difficulty believing that she was the same woman who had sat by my bedside as I lay sick, sacrificing sleep to care for me. Her hair was a frazzled mess, and deep creases covered her face. Restrain her, throw her back in her room and lock the door. She's a girl. She was a girl, I swear it. Open your eyes. Do I sound like a girl? Do I look anything like a girl? Mother's cries sent me into a frenzy. I ripped the sheet off my shoulders, throwing it to the floor. I am not a girl. And shouted. Restrain her, please, someone restrain her. Fear reigned in the great hall. But then, several moments of icy silence were broken by a muttering that shocked me as much as anyone else. You're not a boy or a girl. What on earth are you? You're an abomination. You're not a boy. You're an abomination. What? I had seen myself in the mirror. I was undoubtedly male. Lacking in strength though they may have been, I had visible muscles. My chest was flat and I was taller than a girl should be. My voice was deep and I had an obvious lump in the middle of my throat. I was male. I had to be male. What else could I be? So why was Amy looking at me like some kind of strange creature? A chill ran down my spine, and I suddenly found myself deeply uncomfortable being so exposed. There's nothing there. You've got nothing there. Nothing there. I didn't understand what she was talking about. Unable to press further, I fell silent, at which point several servants burst into the great hall and restrained me. She's a girl. She's my daughter. Mother, seemingly in a mad daze, just repeated the same thing over and over. She was a girl. As Mother wailed, she wandered off somewhere. Father stood there in silence. Amy stared at me with disgust in her eyes. Georg was still in a panic, and Didier clenched his fists. Eventually, I started regaining my composure, which is when I realized I had made a mistake. My sickness had been made into a curse. I was, once more, caged up in my room. In addition to the door being locked from the outside, the windows were boarded over so no one could see in, leaving me in perpetual darkness. I received no visitors except the servants, and again, none of them would look me in the eye. Every day was the same, day in and day out, day in and day out. The only time the routine changed was when on occasion a servant would arrive bearing a letter. It was my mother's handwriting on the parchment. We lived in the same house, yet she refused to show herself before me. I had no choice but to respond to her letters. She demanded I speak like a girl, and I didn't have the strength to defy her. There was a constant sense of urgency to her letters, like she might fall apart completely at any second. And so I did as she said. I signed each letter Michel, the female name she bestowed upon me at birth, which I so despised. Every time I used that name, I felt like I was denying my own identity. On paper, she expressed her concern for me, but that concern only served to cause me more pain. So every time I took up my quill, my hands trembled. Mother, pray daily that my curse might one day be broken. Am I cursed? Is that why my body changed? Was it not because I was male? There's nothing there. What did she mean by that? Why did she look at me the way she did? How am I an abomination? Why? I don't understand. Someone, anyone, please tell me. Someone, please. I have brought your supper. I will be back shortly to retrieve your dishes. I'll be going then. Wait. What? Wait a minute. Yes? What do you need, Michel? Are you a man or a woman? Pardon? Which are you? I am exactly what I appear to be. Which are you? I am a man. If that is all, I will be going now. Clothes off. What? Take your clothes off right now. everything, even your underclothes. What? Surely you jest, Michel. I am very serious. I could not possibly... Why not? I could not expose myself. I ordered you to take off your clothes. You mean to humiliate me? I beg you, please reconsider. What are you? You're a servant of the Bollinger estate. And what am I? I am a child of the Bollinger family. I may be locked up, imprisoned in this room, but that doesn't make you any less my servant. Am I wrong? Clothes off. Michel, I ordered you to take your clothes off. Not even the tiniest sliver of guilt arose in my conscience. I felt no shame in what I was doing. All that mattered to me was figuring out what Amy had meant. I wanted to find the truth. Not knowing I would have been better off in the dark. His face twisted in humiliation. The servant undressed before me. In the dim candlelight, the man's body was shaped almost like a rectangle. At a glance, he didn't appear much different than me. A second later, though, I found my answer. I found the one crucial thing he had that I didn't. Why? My lower body lacked the part that made a man a man. Are you satisfied, Michel? It was then that I finally learned what a man's body was supposed to look like. I'm begging you, please allow me to dress. It would be an unbearable shame to remain unclothed any longer. Before the young Bollinger daughter. Daughter? You still insist on calling me a damned girl? Look at these shoulders, my chest, listen to my voice. How can you possibly think any of that belongs to a girl? But how you appear does not... There was a distinct look of fear in the manservant's eyes, not out of respect for our difference in rank, but out of disgust for this incomprehensible thing standing there before him. Those trembling eyes, and the reality dangling there before me, blew the lid once more off everything I'd been holding back. Without that, you'd be no different than me. What? Everything else is all the same. So why does it make such a difference that you have one and I don't? Michel? I'm a man. I'm a man just like you. I am no one's daughter. And if you still insist we're not the same, then I'll make you like me. Without that, you're no different than me. It was a mix of dread and panic that pushed me over the edge. And so, in order to keep myself afloat, I decided to bring another pain. Please don't do this, Michel. In a blind frenzy, hardly even aware of what I was doing, just riding the current of my erupting emotions, I swiped a knife off the tray the man had brought, knocked him down, and climbed onto him. I'll get rid of it. I'll make you the same. Without it, you'll be just like me. Get off me, please. Someone help. I'll make you just like me. Get in here, someone, anyone. Michel. She's delirious. Through the fog of hysteria, I suddenly realized I was surrounded by several servants. The next thing I knew, I was on the floor beneath them. There were as many, if not more of them, than when I had made the scene in the great hall. A dozen men-servants stared down at me, their eyes filled with fear and revulsion. And in the shadows beyond the crowd, I saw Mother looking in on me with vacant eyes. Mother, why? Why will you only speak to me through letters? Why do you say I'm cursed? Mother, I'm male. I was always male. Tell me that I am, Mother. Let me out of here, please. I'm not delirious. My head is perfectly clear. I'm normal. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not cursed. Mother, say something. Mother. After that, I was shut in my room again, and even the servants stopped coming. I pushed and I shoved and I pulled and I pounded with all my strength, but the door and windows didn't budge. A day passed, and then another. With no food or water, I started fearing death was upon me. I'd had no idea how miserable it was to go so long without water. My throat was dry and cracked, and it felt like it was on fire, making breathing difficult. 2 days, 48 long hours. I felt like I was going to lose my mind. After just 2 days, my skin stretched tight across my bones, looking hard and dry in the soft candlelight. Water. I need water. Someone, please, give me water. Why won't anyone bring me any? Why? My family had abandoned me and were leaving me to die in this room. When I realized that, I broke into uncontrollable shaking. The helplessness threatened to suffocate me. Fear of death turned to panic, which only scrambled my already confused mind further. I grabbed a chair, swinging it at the window, at the door. But all my attempts ended in crushing failure. Anyone. I clawed at the door, begging for help. Someone, open the door. Anyone. Water, I need water. 1 drop, that's all I need. I'm going to die in here. Someone. Anyone. Mother, father. Didier, Georg. Someone open the door, please. Help me. Someone. I need water. My throat hurts. It burns. I'm so weak. Someone. Water. Didier, Georg. Anyone. But not a single soul came to the door. With no food or water, the 3rd day came and went, and then the 4th. By that point, I was expectedly devoid of any sense of dignity, and I sat there, covered in all manner of human filth, as my body quickly wasted away. Still, I clung to the vain hope that someone would open that door. It was all I had. Occasionally I would hear footsteps. Whenever I did, I mustered up what meager strength I had left to bang on the door. Who's ever there, please, open the door. I'm begging you, someone. But my pleas fell on deaf ears. Though they didn't respond to me, I could hear the Abigails muttering to one another in the corridor. Did you hear that? Yes, I did. I wonder what's gotten into Lady Michel. They say she was cursed. Maybe she sold her soul to the devil. How dreadful. We should stay away from that door, if we don't want to be cursed too. I am not cursed. I did not sell my soul to the devil. I'm kind of scared. I might have to find work somewhere else. Gotta make sure we stay away from that door. Why do you think I'm cursed? I never did anything wrong. Lady Michel has lost her mind. She's deranged. I'm scared even thinking about her. I am not deranged. My mind is perfectly fine. She's right crazy. She's right mad. No, I'm not. I'm perfectly normal. Someone, please get me out of here. fifth, and then the sixth day passed. And by that point, I was hovering on death's brink. I lacked even the willpower to hold myself up against the door. So I simply lay on the cold floor, waiting for the end. I felt no sorrow, no anger, no despair, nothing. I had been sucked completely dry. I couldn't even compose a coherent thought. Which is why, when the door I had yearned to open actually did, and someone stepped inside, standing over me, I was unable to process it. My God, what a mess. Hey, are you still alive? Well, look at that. I was afraid you would be dead. It was Amy's voice. I'm sorry, really. I didn't mean you much harm. But after what you said in front of the whole family, I was a little upset. I couldn't tell what she was saying. All I could hear were garbled sounds. All I could do was moan at her. The servants are all afraid of you now, after your little episode, so I volunteered to bring you your food in their place. Everyone was so grateful. I don't think anyone likes you anymore. Eventually, my muddied mind managed to make sense of the thing she was holding in her hands. A tray of food. I could smell it from here. At first, I just gave your food to a stray cat. I wish you could have seen it devouring every last bit. Water. What I didn't know, though, was that people can die in just a few days without water. I never intended to kill you. I just didn't know. So I'm really sorry about that. Water. But you're alive. For someone so physically weak, you sure are tenacious. Isn't that nice? You have one thing you can be proud of. Water. What was that? Water. You want water? Hold on, I got some right here. She picked up a goblet with her delicate fingers. My hands swiped weakly at the air, trying to grab it. A grin spread across her lips, and then she let go. Go on, drink. You'd better hurry, or the rug will absorb it all. You wanted water, didn't you? Then drink. In that moment, I could hear the sound of the last of my dignity crumbling away. Driven solely by my survival instinct, I bent down toward the rug, pressing my lips against the spreading puddle. You really did it. This is too good, Michel. You look like a cat. No, cats are much more graceful. I can't stop laughing. The daughter of a prestigious family, the Bollingers, sucking water out of a carpet. I wish I had a painter here to capture this image on canvas. So you know, I accept that I made a mistake, Michel. I promise I'll bring you your food from now on. I'll take very good care of you. This is going to be fun. Listening to her childish yet deeply malicious laughter, I understood. I was her plaything now. My hell was only just beginning. Having gotten food and water, my body recovered somewhat, but I was hardly in peak condition. That would take some time given how badly malnourished I had been. Amy continued to treat me like her pet, constantly stoking the flame of rage within me. But I was too weak to stay on my feet for long, and talking hurt my throat. I assume it was a calculated effort on her part to maintain power over me, to keep me as miserable as possible. She always had a smirk on her face as she gazed down on me. Come on, open up. Today I'm going to feed you myself. What's the matter? I can't put anything in with your mouth closed. Or do you want to starve to death? Amy, why are you doing this? Why? Because it's fun. Why else? You married into this family, you sick wench. What gives you the idea you can treat me? Are you saying that because I married in, I'm of lesser stature than you? That's true, I am. But what's your point? You think you can intimidate me with formalities? Amy, I would rather you not speak my name if you don't mind. That doesn't excuse your treatment of me. Someone, Didier or Georg, will make you pay for this. You don't have a single friend here, Michel. No one to take your side, and no one to say a thing about me playing with you. Assuming you were somehow able to tell someone, no one would believe you. That's a lie. Do you have any idea what people say about you? They say you've gone mad, that you've sold your soul to the devil. Do you honestly believe anyone would trust you? I am not mad. I don't know, you look plenty mad to me. Fine then, I'll run away. I'll escape from this estate and from you. You think you could survive out in the world with that body? A stray cat could lift more than you. You'd never find work. I give you a week at best. You can't be so sure of that. Maybe I could make it on my own. Maybe. By the way, there's no way you're getting out. You try to run, someone might just cut your legs off. How is that at all necessary? Don't ask me. Maybe because your curse hasn't broken? You know, you're lucky you're even allowed to live. And you shouldn't be grateful to me for volunteering to take care of you. Nobody else wanted to have anything to do with it. So if you want to keep living, you have to show me some respect, and you have to do everything I tell you to. Understood? So this is the real you. You were just pretending to be respectable. When in reality, not only are you sleeping with Didier, you're a downright vile woman. You've been putting on an act ever since you got here. Oh, you make it sound like I'm somehow worse than anyone else. I'm quite normal, thank you. How is this normal? Listen to me, Michel. The side of me you see right now isn't necessarily the whole thing. The sweet girl I am for the family is also me. And when I held you in my arms, that too was me. I am not putting on an act. Liar. Although, to tell you the truth, I never actually liked you, so that part was a lie, yes. If Mother hadn't asked, I would have never even considered getting friendly with you. Amy, you know, life as a noblewoman is so dull. It's so restrictive. No room for love at all. So, can you really blame me? There so happened to be the most wonderful knight right there for the taking. Why shouldn't I have gone after him? I'm still young. Let me have some fun, you know. Not like women have much else in the way of recreation. So it wasn't Didier, but you who seduced him. And it all would have worked out beautifully too, if you had only kept your mouth shut. You ruined our family gathering and damaged my reputation. And you called me a whore. That wasn't very nice now, was it? Is it any surprise I'm a little sore? You brought this on yourself, Michel. I brought this on myself. Don't you dare. Nothing justifies what you're doing to me. I'm not the disturbed one. You're a crazy whore, and don't you try to pretend otherwise, damn you. Oh my, such language. You're not being very nice to me, Michel. Girls aren't supposed to talk like that, you know? I'm not a girl. Then what are you? I'm a man. A man? With that body? Amy quietly rose, grabbed me by the hair and shoved me to the floor. Let go of me. You call yourself a man? You can't even get out of a girl's grip. I'm not all that strong either. In fact, I'd say I'm rather weak. Just a small, powerless girl. If you were a man, you'd have no problem breaking free, malnourished or otherwise. But you can't. Get traced the lines of my emaciated ribs with her nails, traveling slowly, slowly, down my chest. But even ignoring that, you're missing the most important part. Stop. Get off me. I tried to shove her aside with all the strength I could squeeze out of my arms. But as Amy had said, I couldn't even overpower a girl. All I could do was lie there beneath her and beg, "Get off me," groaning in anger and frustration. Her finger came to a stop just above my navel. She looked up at me with a sweet smile, and then pulled her hand away. And just as a wave of relief spread through me, she shoved me back, jumped up, and slammed her foot between my legs. I shuddered as the pain jolted up my spine. Amy looked down at me as I screamed. A smirk spread across her face. "Oh my, does that hurt? There's a surprise. Even without boy parts, it still hurts." "Stop, please." And she didn't stop at stepping on me. "I'm begging you, stop, please." She dug her toes into my flesh. "What are you exactly, Michel? From the feel of it, you don't quite have proper girl parts either." "Amy, please." On top of the physical pain, unbearable humiliation and shame corroded away in my spirit. "What a strange creature you are." "Stop." If I could have died right then and there, honestly, that would have been preferable to the emotional hell she was putting me through. "You should take a look at yourself in the mirror, Michel. You're crying, sobbing like a sad little girl. Not much of a boy, are you? And you lusted after me with this body? Seriously, you're disgusting. I can't believe you actually had the gall to fall for me." Amy's abuse was not a one-time occurrence. As she had promised, she came to feed me every day. But her arrival brought nothing but anguish and torture. Every day she chipped away more of my spirit. I hadn't succumbed to her yet. My anger still overpowered any fear I felt. About a week after Amy started caring for me. "Have you been a good girl, Michel? I brought you your supper. I'll set it right here for you." "What's the matter, Michel? Your food's right there. It's going to get cold. Go on, eat. But no using your hands. Crawl over and use your mouth. Come on, eat. Or would you rather I fed you?" "You..." What was that? Do you have something to say? I can't understand a word you're saying, Michel. If you would eat, you would have enough strength to talk. "Will you..." Huh? "I'm going to kill you, Amy." That was, I believe, the first time in my life I had felt a sincere, overpowering desire to end someone's life. I wanted to see her dead. With my hands and legs tied up, I lurched for her, and like the dog she wanted me to be, I chomped down on her wrist. The taste of someone else's blood was far more unpleasant than I expected. I felt like I was going to vomit. But I was determined not to let go of her wrist for any reason. I would gnaw through to the bone and rip her entire hand off. She could beat me unconscious and I still wouldn't let go. She would have to kill me to get me off of her. I wanted her to feel the same pain I felt when she trampled on me. Let go! My body never did what I wanted it to, though. I could swear on my life I wouldn't release her arm, but I could never seem to make good on my determination. Amy's foot flew up into my emaciated gut. The pointed tip of her shoe dug into my flesh like a knife, and I collapsed to the floor in a fit of convulsions. And just as I was about to cough up a mouthful of stomach acid, She rammed her foot into my abdomen a second time. She didn't even give me enough time to get to my feet, let alone fight back, before she kicked me again. Again and again and again and again. Stop. My gut, my chest, my legs, my face. What's wrong with you? Don't you get it? You're not the one in control here. You should be thanking me. What you did to me that day was incredibly hurtful. Yet here I am, bringing you your food. Can you not see just how kind-hearted I am? So why would you go and bite me? What would possess you to do such a thing? Gasping for breath, my consciousness slipping away from me, I caught a glimpse of Amy's eyes as she swung her leg back for another kick. And when I did, a single word rose to my mind. Demon. Isn't that something? You can't even stand up to a girl. I'm not that strong. I'm weak and frail. This is the first time I've ever kicked someone. I have absolute control over you, Michel. You understand that now, right? You learned your lesson, didn't you? Not an ounce of strength remained within me. My tongue and cheeks were torn up, and my mouth tasted of blood. Thinking herself weak and having no experience in the ways of physical violence, she knew no restraint. The ignorant can be so much more brutal and viciously relentless than the seasoned. My vision had gone red, and I could hardly feel my own face. There was a strange gurgling sound with every breath I took. Jeez, what am I going to do about this hand? It hurts like crazy. I know. I'll tell everyone you finally lost it, and tried to bite my hand off. They'll all feel so bad for me. I can just see the sad looks on Didier and Georg's faces. They will not. You know, your brothers have completely given up on you. A deranged sister is nothing but trouble. You know what you are, Michel. You're a demon child. Why was I the demon and not her? Why did no one come to my aid? Several times I considered ending my life, but every time I did, memories of better days came back to me, of the time before my body had transformed, the days when we were all so sure of our happiness, kept me chained to life. Why couldn't things still be the way they had been then? In my heart, I hadn't changed at all. So how had things ended up like this? Michel, oh Michel, are you there? Did you need something, Georg? Oh, come on, don't be like that. Do I have to need something to talk to you? No, but you looked like you were in an unusually good mood, so I thought. Well, why wouldn't I be? It's a wonderfully gloomy day out. I would understand if it were clear out, but can you really say it's wonderfully gloomy? Well, you can't be outside for very long when it's not cloudy, so in our case, this is perfect weather. What do you say we go for a little stroll while we can? Dee's around today too, so we can see if he's up for it. It'll be like old times. We've been running around like headless chickens lately, so we haven't had much of a chance for a sibling outing. We'll have Mom make us a lunch, and then... oh, we'll take a couple of horses up to the forest's edge. I'm fine with that if you are. You bet your bum I am. I asked after all. Now come on, let's go. An outing, you say? Yep. Hop on a couple of horses and head for the forest. We haven't done this in a while, so I figured why not? I see. Well, if Michel is coming, I see no reason to say no. Let's set off right away. Whoa, slow down there. Are you saying you wouldn't go if it was just me? It's Michel or nothing? Of course. Why on earth do I want to go horse riding with you? I'd rather drown myself. Look, gasp. Didier, could I perhaps perhaps make a small request. Go on, let's hear it. Do you mind if I hold the horse's reins? Oh, that's all? By all means. I'll be right there behind you to make sure nothing happens, so have at it. But do be warned, my horse is a bit temperamental. If you're not gentle, he'll start getting moody with you. I doubt that'll be a problem for you, though, Michel. I'll be careful. Hey, whoa, slow down, guys. Look at that, Michel. Georg is still fumbling around all the way back there. Are we going a bit too fast? No, you're fine. That you were able to get past that so quickly is proof of your talent. Finally caught up. This isn't a race, you know. Why can't we enjoy the scenery, indulge in some nice pathos? A warrior and his horse need not of pathos. Isn't that right, Michel? It certainly is, Didier. Come on, you guys, be nice. This was my idea. You've really taken after old D, haven't you, Michel? I, for one, would rather see you admiring flowers or dancing with butterflies or gazing out on a beautiful sunset or enjoying poetry. More pathos, my dear sister, and less barbarism. Long swords, suits of armor, and tales of heroic knights are so much more appealing, though. You've let him get his claws in too deep, Michel. Oh dear, oh my. I'm going to have 2 meathead siblings before I know it. What did you just call me? Now, you two. Why don't we stop here for a picnic? Seconded. My stomach's been rumbling up a storm. I took a few bites earlier because I was about to die back there. I hope your horse throws you in a river. Hey, so the other day I brought a cat home. A cat? Yep, speckled from head to tail and ugly as a witch's ass. I was gonna keep it in my room, but Mom flipped when she saw it. Keep that filthy thing out of my house. Wish there was something you could do about how much of a clean freak she is. Georg, try not to stress Mother too much. You're unpredictable enough as it is. It would be nice, though, to have a cat, I mean. You think so? Then how about this? We'll keep it in the courtyard. I'll feed it on days when it's clear, and you can do it when it's cloudy, Michel. I don't know what cats eat, though. I bet he'd like pastries. Do you want to kill the cursed thing? I cannot approve of anyone taking care of an animal who thinks that's a good idea. Sorry. Pull the stick out of your ass, D. Life's all about experimentation. Live and learn. Don't experiment on animals. Well, if you're gonna be like that, how about you help out too? You can keep an eye on us and make sure we don't do anything stupid. What? Now you're trying to drag me into this? Already done. You're in. It's settled. Damn it, Georg. Now we just need to come up with a name. Have any ideas, Michel? You want me to name it? Not very often do you get to give another living being a name. Well, I guess you might have a few more chances down the road. Consider this practice. Something elegant and beautiful. You've got this. Now, Georg, don't put so much pressure on her. You have a point, though. It is a good opportunity. Don't stress too much about it, Michel. Just choose something you like. You said the cat was speckled and ugly? Yep, one looking up, you're laughing so hard you can't breathe. Alright then. Ugly Speckles. That's its name. It would seem you do not have a future in the arts, Michel. But you said it was ugly and speckled, Georg. I did, yes. You could have tried a little harder than that, though. But you know, why not? Ugly Speckles it is. It's actually kind of charming when you say it out loud. Ugly Speckles. It's not that funny. It is quite something indeed. The more I think about it, the more I... Not you two, Didier. We should bring Ugly Speckles on our next outing. Sitting together beneath the clouds, having lunch. That we should. When Michelle's gotten a little bigger, let's do this again. The 3 of us and our ugly speckled cat. You said it. We're all good friends here, after all. I've never been your friend, though. God, must you always be such a jerk? Didier, Georg, was Amy telling the truth? Do you really think I'm nothing but trouble? Do you think I've lost my mind? That I'm a demon child? DDA, Georg, why do you not open this door for me and let me out? Were the things I said that day really so heinous? Do you resent me too, like Amy? DDA, Georg, how do you think about me now? Is this body really so unusual? If I hadn't undergone the transformation I did, would things still have been the way they were before? Would we be able to go out to the forest again and make silly, meaningless conversation, everyone laughing like we had then? If this body hadn't changed the way it did, would I not be trapped in this darkness? Even if that were the case, I didn't want to be a girl. If God descended from heaven and offered me to change back, I would have turned him down, because inside, I wasn't a girl. And my nightmare at Amy's hands didn't end there either. As much as I loathed to admit it, I was terrified of her. Every day I dreaded the sound of the door opening. However, if I were to block the door off with furniture, I would lose my only remaining lifeline. I had no choice in the matter. It's time for supper, Michel. I brought you your favorite, parsnips. Well, what the dogs in need of them anyway. But you don't mind, do you? I'm going to cut your nails today, Michel. I need you to stand very still. You wouldn't want my hands to slip. So, to make sure you do, I'm tying you up. This way you can't accidentally move. Here's your water, Michel. It's murky. Oh, heavens me. I must have fetched it from the wash basin by mistake. It's supper time, Michel. I brought you parsnips again. Don't worry, the dogs didn't have any of these. They didn't seem to be interested in eating them raw. What, you don't want any? Then what am I going to do with these? You know, Michel, you're such a disgrace. Cry for me, won't you? Beg for mercy. Look at you, all that pride, gone out the window. It's hilarious, I tell you. She did everything imaginable to torture me, both physically and emotionally. To be honest, it was rather impressive in a sick way, how she was able to come up with so many different ways to torment me. And she knew precisely what caused me the most pain. My body, and the discrepancy between what I was and what I felt I was. She delighted in telling me I wasn't male, and sometimes in showing me. But I don't think I need to describe the things she did to me in any more detail. I can think of only one way to keep myself from breaking down. I completely stopped talking, stopped struggling. Then one day, after about 6 months or so, she said with a disinterested sigh, "I'm done." And that was the last of it. By swallowing my pride and not resisting, I was able to escape from her grip. Once she was gone, the servants took over attending to me again. I was still imprisoned, but now there was a serenity in my solitude. I didn't speak with anyone. I didn't make eye contact. I didn't do anything. I just lived. But even though I had peace, I still feared Amy having a change of heart. I trembled at the possibility that one day it might be her that opened the door. But above all, I hated, despised the fact that I lived in such fear of a girl. An overwhelming self-loathing threatened to crush me. I had recurring nightmares about the things Amy had done to me. The wounds she gave me did not heal. They only grew worse, eating away at me day after day. I was beginning to lose confidence in my own sanity, in the silent darkness where there was no sense of time. The line between dream and reality blurred. I often found myself screaming, crying into the empty air. I clawed at my skin, pulled out my hair, paced back and forth across the room, pounded the door, yelling for help. scream some more. It was the very image of pitiful, absolute wretchedness, and every time I did, I'm sure there was someone on the other side of the door, whispering about how poor Michelle had lost her mind. Eventually, I gave up entirely. It was a stormy night in my 16th year. I had been confined for more than 2 years at that point. Heavy rain pounded against the window like thousands of little spears. I was sitting quietly on my bed, unable to fall asleep. When suddenly, there was a loud banging on the door. Michel, are you awake? If you aren't, then hurry up and get awake. We've got big trouble. Lower your damn voice. But when I first heard my brother's voices after so long, I thought I was hallucinating. In 2 years, they had never once come for me, no matter how hard I pounded on the door, no matter how many times I called for them. And after all that time, I didn't expect that to ever change. I had given up, assumed they had long since cast me aside. Unable to bring myself to say anything, I simply stared at the door. When there was another bam bam, the sound was half consumed by a crack of thunder, giving it an indescribably eerie quality. Please say something, Michelle. Seriously, there's no time. You can hear us in there, can't you? You're there behind the door, aren't you? Come on, just one word, Michelle. Is it really you, DDA Georg? For a moment, they seemed to be at a loss for words. Probably because they almost didn't recognize my voice. But it was only a heartbeat, and then DDA spoke. There is a carriage waiting outside. I'm going to unlock the door so you can leave in it. Why? Because Dad's talking crazy. He's saying the Bollinger family has no need for a demon child, that you're a mark of shame on our name. So he's going to have you executed. Georg. Father wants me dead. It felt like the floor had fallen out from under me. Executed. Demon child. Mark of shame. So he was saying I didn't even deserve to live anymore. It's planned for tomorrow morning. We only just found out ourselves, which is why you prepared a way for me to escape. But why? Why do you even need to ask? Because we're family. Something terrible has gotten into Father. I clenched my teeth, fighting back a bitter, angry sigh. But I couldn't keep all those emotions bottled up for long. A maelstrom of feelings I thought I had lost in my 2 years of imprisonment swirled up inside me, spilling from my lips. Why? Why are you doing this now? If you really felt that way, then why didn't you come sooner? 2 years I spent locked in this room. Do you have any idea how I felt in that time? Any idea how hard I had to fight to endure? How many times I cried for your help? How hard I pounded on the door, begging to be set free? But never once did you come. Not even once. Michelle, I scare you, don't I? You think I've gone insane, that I've lost my mind, that I sold my soul to the devil, don't you? No, Michelle, we don't. Then why? Why didn't you come and set me free? Michelle, no, we don't think you've lost your mind at all. So you did want to see me then. You didn't want to face what I'd become. Tell me I'm wrong, DDA Georg. You left me here, abandoned me for 2 whole years. Locked me away so you didn't have to see me. I'm sorry, I'm just, really busy with my art. I've been getting a ton of commissions down at the court. And DDA's at night now, so he's up to his neck in expeditions. I'm really sorry. As am I. I cannot say that you were wrong. after what happened, I wasn't sure how I was supposed to act around you. I'm still not sure, even now. I knew I had to find the time to collect myself, but I kept putting it off, vainly hoping that time would take care of it all. And for that, I owe you an apology. But you need to understand, I do not agree with Father's decision. I do not want to lose you. I don't think you're a demon child. And Georg feels the same. Neither of us want to see you dead. What he said, Michel. There's not much time. We need to get you out of here. I bit down hard on my lower lip, hard enough to draw blood. It was that, or start sobbing. It's a little late for that. Michel, if you don't get out of here, you're going to get killed. If I'm not an angel sent from heaven, or a demon child, then what am I? What on earth am I? What are you? You're a Bollinger. You're our family. That's all there is to it. I pray you can forgive me for averting my eyes for so long. Can I trust you? Can I trust that even if the whole world says I'm cursed, that you'll always be on my side? That you'll always be my brothers? Can I put my trust in you once more, Didier, Georg? You absolutely can, Michel. I swear to God on high. And I swear to the God of art. Michel, I have no other choice, do I? I couldn't talk Father out of it, could I? I would rather you didn't try. He is not a man to change his mind. If you were to show up before him, he would likely draw his sword on you himself. It would destroy Mother. I'm sorry. We're not only doing this for you. Okay, I'll go. Thank goodness. The carriage will take you to a mansion, Michel. It's a property Father purchased some time ago, but due to rumors about the house, it's abandoned. No one wants to buy it from him either, and that's unlikely to change. It's the ideal place to keep you out of sight. What kinds of rumors? Well, no point in keeping it a secret. He has a right to know. They say a witch lives there. A witch? I think it's all just made up, personally. I went to check the place out, and there was no one there. It was a little dreary, to be sure. I had hoped to have a better place arranged for you, but there wasn't enough time. This is only temporary, Michel. I cannot say how long it will be, but Father will pass away eventually. When he does, Georg will inherit the estate. That will mean you can return. So I ask that you hold out until that time. If I don't leave, I'm going to be executed. So send me anywhere, I won't complain. I'm glad to hear you say that. I will talk to Father and ensure he does not suspect anything. We'll make this work, don't you worry. The long and short of it is, Dad simply wants you erased from the family. Georg! Sorry. I wasn't trying to be mean. But anywho, once I take over, we're in the clear. You'll be acknowledged as a Bollinger. I see. Okay then. Can I open the door now? Just a minute. You're still not ready? I don't have any clothing. Right. You wouldn't, huh? How tall are you now, Michel? Around the same height as you, I think. You're taller than me? Damn. Alright, I'll bring you some of my clothes. Thank you. Wow, I don't think I ever heard you say thank you without putting up a fight, Michel. That's not true. I don't think. I'll be back soon. Get what you need together. Alright.